My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. 6V60381. And let's see, license 11736D3. License 1545806, Omnitrans, bus 2358. And directed light while Omnitrans opens and closes the bus. It's demonic conduct or monitoring. And it is currently 8:28 a.m. Capturing this demon that's operating that bus. This is a company engaging in state surveillance and terrorism. License HT964 handicap. And you're looking at the fake sun right over that bus. That's group stalking Omnitrans. That's what I just took a picture of. All right, everybody inside of B&G Plaza is monitoring to that facilitating activity. They're monitoring me while the fake sun is over me. BR4LF 8XZJ330 6FMT046 7SZS553. Get these demons starting their ignitions. 5VWP125. Yeah. A39NYW8 8ARE433. Of course, Shiro's Liquor, Ultra Personnel, got their little hefty minion crossing path pacing in the parking lot, and Clinica Medica, California, 9BCW028, 8EZT189, 9AWC221, 8ATY395, 7DXB729, 6EQJ965, 8SNU189, and it's 8:30 a.m. and it is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. And the entity's light source remains over me as I'm walking on Hope Boulevard. So it's over me again as I'm showing you where the entity is keeping the light source over me, where this vehicle is parked. So as I'm waking more, the entity's moving that fake sun over me, and that's why it's parked here over me at B&G Plaza, remaining over me wherever it is that I go and remain for the day. In Ontario, that's the Open Family Community Library, all right, which is an impossible occurrence. 8ZOY123. That's a third-party crossing path. This is speaking to what is impossible while the entity has engaged in this conduct of keeping a fake sun over me, but while I go to an entirely different location, including Pomona, California, including Montclair, California, or sitting in Fontana, already in Fontana. I mean, I've thoroughly documented this. So this is the P.O.C. and documenting what is that light source that remains over me. All of the elements remain. This is documentation that's occurring in the same exact specific environment, which is demonic, 5HDA675. And it is Wednesday, July 20, 2022, and it would not be complete without who we got over here corroborating my documentation. The Ontario International Airport group stalking. This looks like hold on. That's the Ontario International Airport flying directly over me where the fake sun is, where directed light is present, where 8ZOY123 is engaged in surveillance. Group stalking in a drive-thru. It's entirely pathetic. And Doing so flying over Andy's Burgers. Okay, so that's the Ontario International Airport. And as I walk north to go to the Ovid Family Community Library, that's how the Ontario International Airport is a stalker as well. They migrate as I walk north, remaining on the specific side of my person, that is on the south side of my person, patrolling, that is demonic, pacing in planes, and doing so in that specific environment as that fake sun remains over me. And that's the Ontario International Airport. Very much engaged in the same P.O.C. 7VPU 109, 7NFR 698, 8XAL 439, Ontario Police 157-6885, vehicle 1015. License 7JHD067. Everybody that I just documented, understand that's federal prison. All right? Police want to show up and include themselves. Everybody's going to federal prison. And that's just understanding the P.O.C. This is already included. Everybody that I'm documenting, you're already in that pool of those who are going to federal prison. They've been, the police stalking conduct, the Ontario police in particular. So I just want to point that out. But this is how you are treating group stalking. License plate 8DMG938. The people of the state in Ontario, California, they're going to want to have nothing to do with what is being cited near the Ontario Police Department when I get done with them. But that boat has sailed. All right. But what I'm speaking to is the Ontario Police Department just crossed paths, visibly communicating a threat. They're stalking. They're not doing nothing but stalking. OK. And so while you're doing that, you're documenting who else is group stalking with that demon-possessed police agency, because they're all threatening together. You don't have a right to stalk as a police officer. You don't have a right to stalk as a minion stalking in concert with that police officer. Federal prison for everybody involved right there as you pinpoint them. I have documented a prolonged pattern of conduct. You already know this. And so understand what this is. The City of Ontario with license 1438317, group stalking at Plum. Want to make sure that's understanding what is federal prison as you're documenting them. All right. And this is based on a well-established pattern of conduct, a well-documented pattern of stalking by this specific agency. But it's not just the Ontario Police. You're talking about the Fontana Police Department. You're talking about the Upland Police Department. All right. 889S94. That's Nevada. License plate 8WBX080. That's understand the Ontario Police Department or any agency. All right. This is the hornet's nest that's stalking you. These are the people exercising fictitious authority while they're stalking you. All right. These are the people that are engaging in what is criminal summoning while they're stalking you. All right. And you're looking at them in plain sight. That is absolutely unlawful conduct. You're not going to tolerate that. And that's how you are necessarily addressing federal group stalking. 0427 9B3. Indirect light, Metro 102, Ontario Town Square Townhomes. The fake sun remains over me as I'm walking north of Plum Avenue. So you have the Ontario International Airport that is group stalking with the police. All right, so while that airlines, which appeared to be American Airlines, that's what it looked like specifically, but it is nonetheless, I captured an image of it flying over Andy's Burgers, but the Ontario International Airport nonetheless, and this is that entity. This is the facilitating venue of the Ontario International Airport, stalking, terrorizing with the police. And they also know they're being documented, impermissible threat. And they're doing so with the police department, fully revealed as the stalker that they don't even have an argument. Nobody does in federal court. But 7XRR387, there is no basis. There is nothing that this agency is going to say in federal. They're going to be silent in court, in other words, because they don't have anything to say. They're already proven as a stalker. They're already proven as demon-possessed. I literally used them and to prove to you, to expose what is demonic activity. The Ontario Police Department is the demonstration of it, the example of it. 6YMK104, and how that demonic activity is occurring and how it is revealed through what is public corruption, criminal activity. FP136794. Staples is a sex offender in the crossing path again, 00739G2. African-American male wearing a backwards hat with a wife beater on. All right, and Staples drove down this same exact street. I documented this already under the fake sun, and they engaged in a substantial molestation of my person. Staples hostile as I document them. Staples is engaging in what is an impermissible threat while touching my person. 1DERL hand. The hand is like an little illustration on their vehicle. Staples is crossing path, engaging in group stalking. Staples, the company. 7GKF750, and there's group stalking with the police. 43125H2, the YMCA, group stalking with the police. It's an old Asian male, directed light, a whole bunch of aged demons on that vehicle as well. 8UVU958. with the Ontario Police Department. 98KF392 with the Ontario Police Department. PORMIS 4 with the Ontario Police Department. 5UAE144. These are demons who are pacing, okay? And in the middle of the street, you've got a demon engaging in the behavioral pattern, stalking with the method of flashing light, okay? Let's go get this license plate because they're going to federal prison. This is facilitation. They do it under the specific environment. All right, they're in the middle of the street with their hazards on. Of course, as I walk toward them, those demons start moving their vehicle, moving away. Okay, this is Ontario Town Square Townhomes. 9BLS399 will go to federal prison. That third party wants to run. 8ZGY321 will go to federal prison. That third party wants to run. MDP5578 from Texas. That third party will go to federal prison. This third party wants to run. 5SLZ024. CD75882 paper. This third party stalking with light activity, which is an act of terrorism. Let me show you the fake son. This is facilitation with the police. She's going to federal prison. 98HV740. P.O.C. 6ELX398. 7MUE916. 8ZUC792. It's 8:38 a.m. License plate 8K87087, engaging harassment monitoring with these minions who I captured images of. While I'm standing in the parking lot, the Ontario airport is flying over while this demon stops while I am not blocking her pathway to go through and park if that's what she wanted to do, which is what these minions that are ganging up around in the parking lot. This is the state that's surrounding around. This is the state that is monitoring, and that's the Ontario Senior Center that they go inside of at 225 East B Street. They are engaging. You know, you're blocking traffic in the parking lot. And this is not the case. This is, first of all, audible activities. Second of all, these are minions that are hostile while I'm documenting them. All right. And this is the city of Ontario wearing a staff shirt going into the senior center. This is the Latina female who is monitoring in plain sight. Fake son, Ontario Airport, Southwest Airlines, simultaneity of conduct and light activity while she is monitoring. And then you have a pack of minions that come out who are also monitoring. But the guise of their monitoring is harassment. So they're talking about some BS. I'm blocking traffic in a parking lot. I'm blocking traffic. I'm taking pictures of the fact that she is stopping for no reason. She stops in front of me. The moment that I start walking is when she resumes driving. I'm not blocking her at any time. She's monitoring. And first of all, second of all, even if let me point this out as well. You are monitoring in the specific environment, period. They are looking for something to distract with. All of these minions are monitoring. This is the Ontario City Hall. This is City of Ontario. These third parties whose license plate, again, that was license 1469611, City of Ontario. They're going to federal prison. All right. These are the minions that are driving around in utility vehicles, in their vans, accessing the buildings while they're engaged in state surveillance, driving around stalking in dumpster trucks while they know that they're being documented. So you have a pack of them come out of the senior center to engage in what is harassment. And they also engage in criminal defamation. This is the African-American with, she's carrying a tub, she's group stalking, she's in direct light, raising her voice is audible activity. And while she is engaging in what is harassment, she's also speaking what is criminal defamation. You need to take your meds. That's audible activity under the fake sun. And this is Satan that's lying. This is Satan that is, she's stalking with the police. She's stalking with the fire department. She's stalking with the Ontario International Airport. And that's her audible activity. That's the entity. That's federal prison as well. 6EJH337. And these images are captured close up. They walk right into the senior center and they are going to federal prison. 8NUT911. 7GQL610. And while I'm standing in the parking lot, molesting with directed light, just like the city of Ontario was doing. But what they did, what that demon did was stopped on the side where nobody's obstructing them. And let me be clear, I'm going to stand here and document you. But this is not even an obstruction. I want to be clear. You're engaging in harassment while you're a bunch of mad minions because I'm documenting you. And that's all that they can come up with. You're blocking traffic. There is no traffic. This is a parking lot, Satan, while you are monitoring and you're scared. That's why you are scared coming out here harassing like that. That's a terrorizing threat. Remember, I'm advocating on the part of the ordinary target individual. These are a bunch of demons that are coming out to harass you while they are in the specific environment. And everything that they are saying is legally relevant. Do not forget the Ontario International, them and the Ontario Police Department. Stalking by helicopter, that's the same police department giving audible activity to the entity. Everything that these demons are speaking while you are a whole stalker, okay? A nappy-headed one with no hair. All right. She's a bald-headed minion who is engaging in, and she's dirt old who is stalking somebody and you're hostile about it. That's what they're engaging in. These demons that are patrolling. License plate 60014G3 4KJ1446. They're all engaged in harassment together. They're all in directed light. So I want to make sure I document that. And that's the significance of what I documented. The City of Ontario that's monitoring, and they're doing so while the Ontario International Airport, I captured all of this in pictures. They are monitoring, and then you have what are additional minions that come into the parking lot in relevant position. All right, they are employed by the City of Ontario, so I want to be clear that's legally relevant because I'm prosecuting the entity, and I'm also speaking to the entity that is engaging in state surveillance. You're not operating a legitimate business. You're present on behalf of the state, engaged in criminal conduct, and you want to do it via harassment. 9APD 117, license AWCX 867. This is 280 North Lemon Apartments engaged in harassment. Metro 102 Apartments engaged in harassment. The Ontario City Hall, where the fake sun is over, where the airport's flying over by planes, all right? In the Ontario Town Square. This is where I'm at, where the fake sun remains right now. 7JTM459. 7JXR318. 6XTH708. 8ZVE256. 7KZL796. And they're pacing. This is impunity. This is relevant. They're harassing, they're stalking, they're monitoring, and they're engaged in ongoing stalking as you document. 8XRL122, 5WSH456, 22196E3, LIZJELI. Alrighty, license plate 5WWM494. This Asian male is accessing 7KZL796. He's a part of the same harassment while the City of Ontario is group stalking in the parking lot. And I want to be clear, as I'm walking around in the parking lot, as this minion is group stalking in the parking lot, it is no more obstruction of, you dropped your post-it, minion. You dropped your little post-it, minion. You don't want your note? You dropped it on the ground. License 8PUR716, 8BSL405. That's exactly what those demons are. You know you're blocking traffic while you're walking in a parking lot, okay? That's their audible activity. This is Satan that's just mad. All right, I'm going to document that, though, because I'm going to prosecute you. It's audible activity, and you're engaging in what is a method of harassment, albeit unintelligent, but legally relevant, okay? That's the state that's harassing. And while you're stalking, let me be clear, the state is going to shut its mouth, and it's going to watch its mouth while it's monitoring you, which it has no business doing in the first place. They just spoke on behalf of the whole entity. Okay? And that's federal prison. While they also want to talk about take your meds, this is always the lies that Satan utters. This is a pattern. Okay? Like I said, no pissant third party on the street, including this pissant that's engaging in surveillance in plain sight in the parking lot in operation of his communication device. Group stalking while they want to harass together. They harass, you see the fake son right over his car. Fake son right over his car in operation of his communication device, stalking in plain sight. You hear the audible activity of this minion as I'm reciting it to you. 60041G3 is a part of that same entity that's harassing and group stalking. This is surveillance in the parking lot of the Ontario City Hall in direct light, okay? That's the P.O.C. And they're doing so in plain sight while they want to harass together and engage in criminal defamation. All right, license 8WCX867, 7PQR209, 7JIT124, 8NUT911. License 249P25, Nevada. And I think I read these already. For MTF122. And again, 8K87087. This is that demon-possessed third party claiming to be a Vietnam veteran. At least that's the sticker they have on their car. This is P.O.C., part of the same harassment while these demons are out harassing in relevant position. You are part of that same entity harassing, group stalking with the police. You're in direct light. You're under the fake sun. You're a part of that same. Let me be clear. This is federal prison for what is criminal defamation while you're monitoring. This is federal prison for what is criminal summoning with the Ontario Fire Department. This is criminal summoning for what is harassment and terrorism, acting with impunity while this entity is monitoring documentation and also stalking with the police. All of this is grounds of federal prison. Again, license 8K87087, and that act of harassment, this minions engaged in surveillance in the parking lot under the fake sign at the Senior Center / Ontario City Hall. 1DERL with the symbol of a hand on it. I documented them crossing path, entering into the parking lot upon arrival here. 7WIG756, and it is currently 8:53 a.m. All right. right, I am documenting, again, you're looking at impossible light activity as I'm walking adjacent to the senior center where these demons come out engaging in what is harassment. You're looking at what is blue tinted directed light. This is serving for what is an ongoing molestation, a method of touching with light even while you're in the shade. I'm taking a picture of what's above the building. The fake sun is not visible, all right? This is the entity that's creating light that's appearing in an inexplicable manner, an impossible manner. It's also impossible because this is not the natural environment. That would not actually be the sun, but that's also directed light. You're looking at my shadow that's in front of me, and you're looking at what is the full area of shade all around on the side. This is where this so-called Vietnam vet who's group stalking in a vehicle, engaging in demonic conduct, harassment, and terrorism as a demon-possessed actor is engaging in. You work here? Do you? No, I don't. Do you work here, Minion? Because I'm going to go get your name. All right. This is good. Alice? Okay, and she's the one driving 1DER with the symbol hand. And this is where this directed light is present. She's engaging in what is criminal defamation. This demon's walking outside, pacing, going to their vehicle and walking back. This is the one, take my meds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, that's criminal defamation.
And you're not allowed in
this is P.O.C. Hi, is this an employee you have here?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, she's engaged in harassment, which I know you were a part of. You're standing outside. You facilitate this sort of treatment?
I have to actually leave. You have to be 50 years old to be in this.
Yeah, I'm talking about the harassment that I have a right to not be subject to.
Okay.
Do you want to address that?
She's not harassing you.
Are you an employee here?
I am an employee here.
Okay, well, do you want to get somebody that can address it with me then, since you don't want to?
You're hitting our van. You're harassing.
Hitting your van?
Yes, the van that you hit.
What van? I hit with what?
With your hand.
Okay, now you're making up stuff.
Okay.
When did I hit your van? When did I hit your van? This is why I document Minion. She's lying. When did I hit your van?
You're going to have to leave.
What's your name?
You're going to have
Yeah,
to
sure,
leave.
I'll get your, what's your name first?
My name's Tracy Davis.
Tracy Davis, thank you. And what's your name?
And my name is Tracy
Did you witness
Davis.
me hit the van too?
I did not witness anything, but you are underage.
But I saw, no, I understand. I'm not here trying to partake in your activities here. I'm documenting what is harassment by somebody you have here as an employee. Okay, and she doesn't want to address that, and she's making false allegations that's legally relevant. Do you want to give me your name?
She is not obligated to do so.
She's not do so, but she's making out false allegations?
She is not making any allegations.
She just did, so maybe you might want to correct her. You might want to correct her.
To leave.
All right, that's fine. You guys are monitoring as well too, right? That's P.O.C. Alrighty, while this minion is pacing back and forth, and you are going to federal prison. That's unfortunate. That's P.O.C. I'm sorry, what?
You're being recorded every moment.
This is great. I'm going to use it against you. That's wonderful. You're engaged in criminal conduct. I'm going to use your surveillance cameras to prosecute you. And those are false allegations, honey. Alrighty, that's legally relevant while you're engaged in the appeal. So thank you, Ms. Tracy Davis. All right, thank you. Yeah, Tracy Davis. That's P.O.C. Tracy Davis. This is the, they were all outside. This is the pack of minions. And she stated, this African-American female with the bad weave in her hair, she's talking about, I hit their van. What are you even talking? I hit their van with my, anyway, and she refrains to provide her name. This demon, 1DERL, they're in directed light. They are under the fake sun. They're stalking with the Ontario airport that's flying over by planes, stalking with light activity, 8XNT939, refraining from answering simple question as to whether this is an employee, what is your name, trying to remove me from the facility when I'm asking about an employee who's clearly engaging in hostility and harassment. Of course, demons don't want to address that. I wanted to go inside and get those names. The large Caucasian female is identifying herself as Tracy, and she's stating that she's not witnessing me hitting a van, which has nothing to do with what is blocking traffic, which is what the third party stated initially. You know, you're blocking traffic while I'm walking around in a parking lot. Everybody is trying to get to their cars, but I'm an obstruction to traffic because I'm documenting. These are minions that are monitoring, and this demon is pacing, walking outside. This is the bald-headed old minion that is pacing in directed light inside of that senior center. Again, Ontario Senior Center is located at 225 East B Street in Ontario, California. Having no interest, nor desire, nor need, these are minions that know that they're being documented, making false allegations, anything to try to distract away from. While she said, I hit the City of Ontario's vehicle. I hit their van. I guess I hit their van when I was taking her picture. I guess I hit the van of City of Ontario when I was walking away. And I'm documenting how they were following me. She didn't move until I started walking away, and I was never obstructing her path. I want to be clear, 8XNT939 is engaged in facilitation, demonic conduct, monitoring with the entity under the fake sun, while they're making false allegations. Gotcha. Alrighty, this is while they're engaged in the P.O.C. These are the demon-possessed. This is the conduct of Satan. This is the nonsense. This is the messy conduct that they engage in. And I'll see you soon. While they're engaging in that harassment, this is the pattern of conduct that's underway at the City of Ontario. This is where the fake sun is over me. This is where I'm being molested with impossible light activity. It is the P.O.C. And again, this African-American female, 1DERL with the symbol hand. She's walking outside of the venue. This is a method of pacing while this demon knows where I'm at. They're monitoring while I'm inside, walking on the side of the building, showing you what's my shadow in front and what would be no shadow because I'm walking in the shade behind me. And I'm showing you what is the fake sun that's on the side of the over as I continue walking. This is the environment. All right. This is the environment while the City of Ontario is group stalking. This meaning that's inside of the vehicle representing the municipality where I supposedly engaged in hitting their vehicle. This is literally what Satan engages in. They just make it up. All right, so you're listening to me challenge. Oh, you want to make this up? I want you to think quick, Satan. I hit your car. Really, I did. When did I do that? And at what point did I do that? Nobody else witnessed it. Tracy didn't witness it, but Tracy was standing right there outside. And this minion who's engaging in raising her voice, talking about, I'm blocking traffic. At what point did I hit the vehicle when I'm nowhere near that vehicle? That Latina female who's group stalking in a vehicle attributed to the municipality is behind me. I'm at no point, and I don't even have to point this out. What I want you to understand is what you've already shown. These are the same demons that engage in kidnapping, stating that you're molesting children, stating that you're stalking people in the bathroom. When you're documenting, making it up. This is what Satan does. This is why it's very severe federal law. And I've already documented this. They're doing it in the specific environment. This is what demons do. These are demons that have no business working in a court system, being on the bench, being in police departments, being in sheriff's departments, literally working even as flying pilots, as I'm showing you the threats that they are to the public. You have demon-possessed people that are stalking people in airplanes. That's what the Ontario International Airport is doing. All right, you're talking about what are the ways in which the demon-possessed population, as I'm documenting, they are engaged in all manner of what is a conduct that is a threat, while you are mad because I'm documenting you. Not only do you lose, you still lose. I'm going to document and I'm going to prosecute you for every lie that you're uttering. This is the state of California that is using, in the same way that this is Satan, that is using those minions engaged in the P.O.C. Understand this. This is both demonic activity, a bunch of demons surrounding me that are lying. Their lies, however, understand, is audible activity while they're in relevant position in the specific environment. They are group stalking while they are documented engaging in the P.O.C. There is no reconciling what is directed light that I'm being molested by, and then you're waging false allegations. This is Satan. Understand that. That's why I wanted to go back and get that and get those names of those minions who are monitoring harassment and terrorism occurring in a parking lot. And then walking in to document, I want to get this minion's name. Oh, we just need you to leave because you don't want me to document your name. You have a right to not be subject to harassment. So I'm going to go back and get that demon's name. And thankfully, she's accessing the vehicle that she was stalking with. That's the license plate. And she is pacing while she walks to that vehicle. She's group stalking while she's walking. They're not getting in. You walk to your vehicle. You use your light activity, your little alarm to unlock the doors. That's light activity, and you walk back to that demon is pacing while they know I'm approaching the door. They know that I took pictures of the impossible light activity on the side of the venue. They know that I'm coming toward the entrance. So you're pacing, you're still monitoring after engaging in what is harassment, and you're engaging in what is harassment inside of the venue. All right, and so I'm documenting. Then you're engaging in what is waging a false allegation. That's a federal crime. Understand that. It's audible activity. So let me be clear. While the entity is monitoring, the entity is the state of California. What you are treating as defamation, understand with regard to what is defamation. Everything that is said about you, everything that you say, it's all subject to surveillance. So in other words, it's being recorded, it's being published in real time. Everything that a third party is stating under the P.O.C. while it's underway is already defamation. Excuse me, not everything is defamation, but everything that they are saying with regard to your character, with regard to your mental state, stating something that is supposed to suggest some sort of mental illness, saying it outright, you're talking about suggesting it, doing it expressly defaming you or impliedly defaming you. It is already published. Everything that they say, you're already talking about, all you're going to do is document because it's the state of California that's defaming you. That's group stalking. Understand that. Also, waging a false allegation. This is the state that's waging a false allegation while you are uttering an irrelevant position as a group stalker. You're in the specific environment, honey. You're being documented. That is the P.O.C. That's a federal charge while she's stating, I hit the vehicle of which is literally It is inconsequential. It is absolutely idiotic. It's an absolute outright failed attempt to try to distract. You just want to turn my head the other way. What? I hit the car, and then you're supposed to be distracted by that. I hit the car. Why did that? No, that's not going to happen. Oh, I hit the car. Okay, really? Did you see that? At what point did I actually hit the car? Tracy, did you see me hit the car? Because all of those demons were outside together. And what am I doing? I'm not asking any question with an answer. I'm not asking any questions that I don't know the answer to. I'm going to use all of their conflicting audible activity against them, and they're all monitoring. They're all monitoring. That's a federal charge. Criminal assertion of false allegations. The state is monitoring. This is how you're going to use everything that Satan says. Satan's going to watch its mouth. Satan's going to watch what it says. And Satan is also going to be very careful of what it's saying while Satan is stalking you through the state. And this is necessarily how you're treating essentially everything that's being subject to surveillance. So, yeah, what you're saying is legally relevant. What third parties and the state are saying, whether they're outside, some pissant third party saying it, some state actor on the street, in other words, some police officer or a fire department or whoever, some county employee or a city employee. I'm speaking to the state acting directly. That is defaming you versus some third party versus some state actor in a court defaming you, some sheriff's department defaming you, some police officer defaming you. It's already subject to surveillance. It's a federal charge. Understand that. This is how this is working. You're not talking about publishing with regard to ordinarily where surveillance is not underway. You're at work and somebody's subject. You don't even have to be at work. Say you're online and somebody is publishing something in writing, which would be libel on the internet about your character or something defamatory. This is being published where it has to be published to some other person. And clearly identifying you, if you understand what civil defamation is. That's not what this is. This is serving, first of all, the criminal pattern of conduct. The state always wants to falsely defame you as suffering some mental incapacity. This is the lie of Satan. This is a pattern. This is literally the language of all of the demons. They all mimic the same conduct, and it's defamation. It's criminal defamation. It is literally the script of the demon possessed. Okay, and not only that, it is audible activity that's occurring in relevant position while they're group stalking. This is the state that is stating it, because this is a group stalker vicariously present. This is the state that is stating that you need to take your meds. This is the state that is engaging in surveillance. This is audible activity that's automatically being published in real time. Everything that's occurring around you is a matter of public information. Everything. You don't have any privacy in the bathroom. That's why you're prosecuting the sex offender that's stalking you, surveilling you in the bathroom. Everything that third parties and state actors are saying at any venue, well, you're subject to the ceaseless P.O.C. That's a federal charge for false allegations. That's a federal charge for criminal defamation. And that is a federal charge shared by the entity. But those specific third parties, they're documented, and they are going to federal prison. While she's dancing in direct light, celebrating now, I want to be clear that that's a very fearful demon. This is how Satan's personality is. They're dancing around as though they're celebrating something, and they're actually terrified. And you are terrified because that's why you're walking outside, crowding around me, trying to make up a reason as to what I just heavily documented your little demon-possessed counterpart engaging in. Stalking in the municipality's vehicle, Southwest Airlines flying directly over my head at the same time, fake sun, and the directed light, which is around in the environment as well. She's an operational for communication device. I just literally heavily documented this minion. And then you have a pack of them that join behind me in the parking lot, harassing under anything. So what do they come up with? Oh, you're blocking traffic in a parking lot, really? So everybody that's walking around looking for their cars, blocking traffic, and I wasn't even blocking this minion's vehicle. She's clearly stalking, period. All right, so these are minions that are scared. You walk out and you're engaging in what is retaliatory conduct. This is to your own demise. You're not retaliating against anything. You're facing more federal charges, and you will be sitting in federal prison. All right, and everybody else is going to be prosecuted for that's going on. In other words, that's going on everybody's criminal record as well. The fact that you're engaging in what is waging false allegations as a group stalker. A group stalker is a violent sex offender. A group stalker is engaging in terrorism with the state. This is going on your criminal record. While you're engaging in what is defaming one whom you are targeting with a government. This is going on your criminal record. All right, and it's going to impact jobs that you can get, industries that you will no longer ever be able to work in. And this is necessary as a matter of justice while you're going to prosecute the people of the state. That's what the city of Ontario is engaging in. I captured those demons. I captured their images, and that is another pathetic tactic that the entity heavily engages in. And that's exactly why I walked back. Let me remind you about the directed light before I walk back into that venue and go get those minions' names, and that's what I wanted to get. And thankfully, demons are always true to form, so she walks right up to her vehicle. That was her specific license plate that I read while she was group stalking as I was approaching the intersection of B Street and Plum. All right, I read that demon's license plate, and she's pacing, walking right to that vehicle. And you're not just going to prosecute her for that audible activity. That's the City of Ontario. She's wearing a City of Ontario shirt. I'm going to prosecute the municipality for that. All right, but that one in particular, yeah, she's going to sit in federal prison for that. She can dance in directed light in federal prison, all right, while she's engaging in criminal defamation on behalf of the state. She's engaged in what is harassment and intimidation by an entity engaged in federal stalking. This is literally what this is. And you also have what is the City of Ontario, as you're listening to this other minion with the bad weave hanging off. She's got a rat tail on the back of her head, and she's waging a false allegation. That's a federal charge. The entity engages in what is criminal assertion of false allegations. These are all the tactics of the entity placing you under surveillance. And there is necessarily a federal response to what is this pattern of conduct by the demon-possessed population that's monitoring you. It is currently 9:10 a.m. This is P.O.C. That's the Ontario Airport group stalking, migrating north as I'm migrating north. A fake sun over the side of the library, and they're flying in relevant position over the senior center, the 280 North Living Apartments, making a U-turn. That audible activity is speaking to their close presence, where they're hovering over the venue where I'm located. Again, moving as I move. They're flying over Andy's Burgers, then they're flying over the 280 North Living Apartments, where the City of Ontario. This being in that vehicle that then engages in what is harassment. And as I'm on the side of the library, this is where the Ontario Airport is flying planes stalking. All right, it is currently 9:28 a.m. They're doing so with simultaneity following what I'm uploading on the internet. So while I'm uploading it, crossing path, which is audible activity, pacing conduct in the specific environment under the fake sun positioned over the side of the Ovitt Family Community Library. All right, 1589378 is the Ontario Police in directed light. Oh, this demon has perpendicular shadows, and he has 3 of them. This is a demon. They're the same minions of the Ontario Police Department that I document. They engage in the same pattern of conduct. This is impermissible threat. They're all going to federal prison. License 1515411. That's the other license plate. That is, again, audible activity by a demon engaging in what is kidnapping and addressing me as though we're friends. It's the same minion that engaged in abusing my property on June 16th, 2022. Calling out across the parking lot, which is audible activity while they're monitoring, having multiple shadows. License 7BNT888, present in that directed light while the police are creating light activity. This is criminal summoning. That's what I'm documenting, okay? License CD49X23, paper. License 7SMJ689. I was just sitting in aiming light. I'm going to federal prison. Let's see. BDSMZIC. Let me make sure that's BOSMZIC. 780C805. What you want to pay attention to is how focused these demons are. The Ontario Police Department, while I'm walking around, I am the focus. They're hollering out my name, okay? I'm not pushing around my carrier that this entity stole. I'm walking around with just my backpack on. They know exactly who I am and where I'm at. You also know that because they're stalking me day and night by helicopters, okay? But I want to pay attention to that while they're hollering out my name and they're engaging in what is a threat. We're not friends. You're stalking me and I'm documenting it. License 8FZX484, criminal monitoring with the police. 4XMU063, 7JZK579. And I stepped out earlier capturing images of the Ontario Police under the fake sun that was over this same venue, Ontario Town Square. 8ZPN139. She's cheesy from ear to ear. She's going to federal prison. They're a bunch of demons. I took a picture. You could see my shadow on my left and my right as I'm standing in front of this demon, which is sitting in, representing a law enforcement agency engaged in group stalking. And that's what I'm capturing as I walk out. Okay, this paper plate is molesting. She's gonna go straight on to federal prison too while she's touching. Alrighty, and she is touching with light. That's paper plate. Yeah, you're going. You're listening. You're going. CD49X23 paper plate. That's a molestation. All right, and that's a sex offender that knows that she's being documented, and she fully, of her own volition, this demon engages in what is touching. Okay, well, that's a violent sex offense. You're speaking to the knowledge that the sex offender maintains while they engage in that act of touching your person, which is entirely demonic. And you're doing it in the presence of the police. Okay, that's very serious federal crimes when you're prosecuting group stalking. 77994H1, 7ERZ774, 6SSJ216, 8ETB964, 4KLK097, 6VRX795, 23145Z2, 7VJC077, 7ZHG250, 7RSR739, 6YIX440, 9AZK707, 8KMG745, 8KEX993, 8NNP651, 62761Y2. These are minions engaged in criminal surveillance with the people. They're engaged in what is group stalking with a police department. All right, that's immediate grounds of federal prison. All right, license plate CD70E41 paper plate. That's impunity. All right. Again, you're analyzing this based on what is a criminal that's acting with impunity. First of all, you want to go to federal prison because you're being documented right now. You're going to sit in federal court. This is going before a federal tribunal. Who in their right mind would drive right into what is the vision for me to get your license plate or for whatever it is that you're documenting, any crime? All right, say the police that is not this demon-possessed corrupt agency is sitting around the corner. They know you robbed the other house. They know you're en route to rob another house. They know exactly where you're at. They're just waiting for you to cross the corner. Who would engage in their right mind robbing that house before you necessarily, there's only one path for you to go. You're going to have to run into them. They're going to arrest you. You're going to jail. Who in their right mind engages in that act? The people of the state do. Demons. And that's impunity while they drive by me and they know they're being documented. Okay? And they're doing so stalking boldly with the police. This is how you're going to prosecute group stalking. All right? This is the analysis because this is what these demons are doing. This is exactly what they're doing. All right? And necessary federal law is to address that. The Ontario International Airport is stalking as well. Alrighty, license 9AGC560 is pacing, 7BNT888. They're driving in opposite directions. They're pacing in and out of the parking garage with the Ontario International Airport. 7BOC805. This is demonic pacing, including the airport flying right over the police over the Wells Fargo. And they're doing so in directed light. They're doing so amplifying. There's no plane taking off over the Ontario Town Square or the senior citizen apartments. This is that airport that is, again, acting with impunity. They know the wealth of documentation of them stalking, and they're doing so with the police department. That's not anonymous criminal activity. It is occurring at what is 9:06 p.m. It is criminal summoning. It is, again, impunity while the entity continuously is stalking you and doing so while you are in the process of documenting it. When they sit in federal court and you're prosecuting, that's the moment when they're like, oh, but I didn't know. And you're not going to listen to that because you're going to watch that impunity that they violated and monitored and threatened your life with when you were documenting it. And that's what the Ontario International Airport is. And there is no logo. There's no company that they are engaging in anonymous criminal activity. There will be a real life flesh and blood person sitting in federal prison. All right. It is, again, right now, 9:06. This is P.O.C. All right, license plate 9AGC560 is the one you see pacing while I'm standing in. Here we go. While I am sitting in the vehicle, they're pacing around with light activity. Group stalker at the traffic light. They're monitoring. Demonic conduct, just pacing all around, just pace. That's the conduct where federal prison for what is stalking with the police, but that's the conduct where demons are going to sit in mental institutions. This is demonic conduct that they're engaging in, and it's criminal. All right, anyway, it's 9:08 p.m. P.O.C. All right, you got Ontario Police stalking at 7-Eleven. This is harassment and intimidation by 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine and the people of the state. Everybody's going to federal prison in this parking lot. Let me 02315J3 8VGW997 18655Z2. license 7R 40521. License plate 6 MPC 309, 8 RCT 822, 6 TMS 256, and of course the what are they called? The the country V.S. apartments. They're in relevant position, group stalking with the Ontario police. The Ontario police are group stalking bearing weapons, monitoring someone, capturing an image of that. They're in directed light. This is a demon-possessed group stalker that is with the agency, the Ontario Police Department, where they are stalking while I'm sleeping inside of the vehicle over here all day and all night. And this is doing so in your face, arriving at the 7-Eleven on surveillance cameras. All right, the employee is going to federal prison, and then after that, he's going to be deported out the country. This is P.O.C. All right, and this is the Ontario Police Department that are on surveillance cameras group stalking inside of the 7-Eleven, and they're doing so while they know I'm documenting these minions every time I come to 7-Eleven. All right, and this is the sort of tactic that you're going to address under federal law. In addition to this minion itself, he's going to federal prison, driving vehicle 1876. Captured his image, group stalking. This is a threat. This is what the ordinary target individual is subject to while demons are stalking you, and then you want to try to... Because that's exactly what it is when you're group stalking, wearing a police uniform that you have no right to wear. I'm going to take that badge. Let me get a...
Good, sir.
Sure.
Very good.
What's your name? Imbecile?
Okay.
That's imbecile. You don't want to give me your badge number, stalker? You just want to run out? Okay, that's fine. Bye, minion. I'll see you soon. That's imbecile. Becceril. That's a male. Thank you. No, I'm good. Thank you. He's running out. He doesn't want to give me his badge number. I got his image. I got his image again inside a 7-Eleven vehicle, 1876. He's going to federal prison. The entity's stalking by helicopter as well. And he's driving again, license 1516961. Those are the demons that are the Ontario Police Department. He's going to federal prison. And so is every third party whose license plate I just read. 4WO and 432 is monitoring as well. 18655Z2, in case I didn't read that one. All right, imbecile is going to federal prison. He was arriving at 7-Eleven, communicating a threat, engaged in ongoing group stalking. That's the same police department stalking by helicopter. Like I documented, every third party in that parking lot's going to federal prison. They are group stalking in directed light in the specific environment. The Ontario International Airport, you see them flying over Wells Fargo, where the police are group stalking at Ontario Town Square and Wells. This is the Ontario International Airport flying over Fern Avenue in directed light with the police. Not anonymous criminal activity. All right, you're speaking to what shall be time in federal prison, those responsible for terrorism while they are facilitating a state terrorism system via the Ontario International Airport using commercial airline planes engaging in group stalking with the police. Pay attention, the Ontario International Airport flying planes in relevant position in this direction, the Ontario Airport flying directly over me in the opposite direction, both over me in directed light. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently, again, imbecile, that's the minion, that's the demon, inside a 7-Eleven, group stalking, following me to the 7-Eleven while they want to communicate a threat because I know I'm documenting the people of the state. And guess who's going to go to federal prison? This one, again, I'm going to document her again because she's still in relevant position, very easy to document, directed light across her house. This is my shadow in front of me. This is my shadow behind me. This is demonic activity. It's terrorism. That 6YOX838 is in relevant position as it is underway, which there is no lawful presence where the police are stalking. This is prosecuting what's a system of public corruption. And it is unfortunate when it's so easy for you to document a relevant position. All right. You are standing out like a sore thumb while the police fly over me while you're group stalking where you live. All right. That's the Ontario International Airport. And again, imbecile, like I documented, is going to federal prison. This demon. This is called impunity. Stalking with the police. This is license plate. In directed light, remember, 8MUB992. P.O.C. The Ontario Police, group stalking, just flying over repeatedly while demonic light is shooting across the gate. That's impossible light activity. Those are the demons of the Ontario Police Department. Has nothing to do with what our headlights. Headlights are not going to travel across the gate. The shadow of that gate, that's impossible light activity. You see that gate over there? The shadow of that gate's not going to move across this white fence. The lights turning off in the background, that's light activity. This is demonic pacing, and the Ontario Police Department are pacing as well in a helicopter. This is called impunity. Sorrell is just another minion adding to the list who is going to federal prison that I have personally encountered. The entire Ontario Police Department shall be disbanded, and you're witnessing it. This is P.O.C. This is demonic activity. This is what is demon possession in operation. You're witnessing. This is demonic. And this is demonic activity underway, prosecuted as terrorism by a corrupt police agency that knows it's being documented. Very unstable. That's what this is. That light activity is showing you what are unstable people. This is demonic. This is demon possession, and they're stalking. This is what is group stalking. License plate 8UIH 348. BSDNA 77. Again, this one that engaged in criminal summoning, 7CVE 583. Again, the Ontario Police Department stalking. This is the entity that's engaging in criminal summoning of that demon-possessed agency. I documented this third party. All right. Everything that the entity is doing, you're going to use it against itself. They're monitoring stalking with light in the specific environment where your shadow is surrounding you. This is a demonic environment. This is impossible light activity. That's the Ontario Police Department. Totally illegitimate, absolutely zero credibility. Sorrell is going to federal prison. It is currently 9:55 p.m. P.O.C. All of an entity is stalking me where it is that they know that I'm sleeping, and it happens to be inside of a vehicle where they're concentrating directed light, where they are pacing all around, where they are pacing via a helicopter and airplanes. P.O.C.